Happy Easter. Christ is risen. Peace be with you. This is Bishop Craig in Lansing, and this is Take One for the week of April 9. Again, peace be with you. The lesson that I learned for Easter this year is that Easter is not about how I feel. The good news from the reading from Matthew's Easter Gospel, is that we encounter the risen Christ, or we are encountered by the risen Christ as we run to share the good news. It's not about how we feel. I was at St. John in Lake City for their last Easter as a congregation. These people, their church, we will be there again next Sunday for the final worship service as they close their congregation. The building is already sold. These people, more than any other, the good people of St. John in Lake City, had a reason not to celebrate Easter, and they did. They turned out, they sang, there was a trumpet, there was joy, there were flowers. It was Easter, and it was the most powerful Easter because it was Easter in the face of pending death, if you will, or at least the death and resurrection of their church. So we are encountered by the risen Christ as we share the good news. I went to share the good news of Easter with the people of St. John in Lake City, and I encountered the risen Christ in them. Pretty cool. So I will be there again next Sunday to preach at the final worship service at St. John in Lake City. On Saturday, I will be having breakfast at the quarterly men's breakfast at Trinity in Grand Rapids. I have Zoom meetings on Monday and Tuesday, and on Wednesday, staff meeting. And then I think we are going to head up and open our cabin because the weather is supposed to be nice. And I have not taken a day off in, I don't know when, a full day off. And I don't think it'll be a full day off, but it'll be good to get the cabin open. So that is my week. The reading for this coming Sunday is, we know it as Doubting Thomas. The disciples are hidden away in fear of the authorities. And I'm having fun kind of challenging my own understandings of these stories. They're hidden away out of fear of the authorities. I think they're afraid that the authorities are going to come in and do to them what the authorities did to Jesus. We tend to think that they don't believe the good news, and I wonder why that is now, because Mary Magdalene in Easter morning went off to tell them. So what if they are locked in together because they believe the good news? And what they're afraid of is the authorities are going to show up, break in, and show them Jesus' crucified corpse and prove that he is indeed dead and that their faith is false. But instead, Jesus shows up, and I think it could be very comfortable to think, great, we are in our locked room, and we are in our safe space, and Jesus risen is with us, so we're good, we're safe, we're set. We'll just stay in here and be the followers of the risen Christ. Wouldn't we all like that with all that's going on in the world? But Jesus doesn't say, let's settle in. Jesus says, as the Father sends me, so I send you. And he sends them to forgive the very ones who crucified him. So when they tell Thomas, we have seen the Lord and all that Jesus told them, maybe what Thomas finds hard to believe is not that Christ is risen, but that Jesus said you need to get out of this room and get out there and forgive the very people who crucified me. It's easy to be Christians. It's easy to be followers of Jesus. It's easy to be church when we can stay safely in our sacred space with risen Jesus and lock the world out. But risen from the dead, Jesus pushes us, sends us, summons us to get out there and not to retreat from the world, but to live in the world. And the people of Lake City, where I will be on Sunday, they're really doing that. They're not only leaving their special sacred place, they're giving it away. for the sake of the community, for the sake of Lake City. I'm inspired by them and I'm proud of them. So that's, I imagine, what I will be preaching, something to that effect on next Sunday. I hope if you're not feeling Easter this Easter, you can set your feelings aside and share the good news with someone. And I expect that in the process, you will experience resurrection and encounter the risen Christ. That is my prayer and my wish for you.
David Sprang.
I've got some email to do from Pastor Sprang. So this is Bishop Craig, and this is Take One, and may the peace of Christ be with you always. Take care.